Hello YouTube, this is John from TeamJestersPokemon bringing you yet another battle video. On the left we have Bret with his CVT deck from our first video, and on the right we have Devon with something completely different. We have a quad Kyurem deck with two of the EXs included into it. It's basically the same idea as the quad Terrakion deck we're used to seeing, just different Pokemon. And we see him random receiver, and he gets N off of that, and he'll play that N. Now, I do notice he did play a plus power immediately, which not really exactly sure why he did that. The deck doesn't really attack on the first turn, like really at all. I mean, sure, you can get your double colors and get an outrage, but this isn't really the case here since he did attach a water energy. I know it's kind of hard to see because it's hidden behind his benched Kyurem, but it is there. So if you're not attacking, then there's really no point in playing that. It's something that you want to keep in your deck for later on so you don't have to waste a junk arm on it. And really just, you have it on you, but it's whatever. Alright, so each of them draws their 6, and he goes ahead and plays a dual ball. He got one heads off of that. He did bench another Kyurem on top of that. Just taking some dice. So he has 3 Kyurems on the field. Now what Devon's going to be looking for within the next few turns is to keep a steady stream of energy attachments, getting EXP shares onto his Kyurems so that he can keep energy on board. Now I noticed didn't look like he used Portrait with Smeargle, so I'm not sure why. I think a Portrait would have definitely been a good idea for this turn because he wants to just blaze through his deck as quickly as possible. I mean, if it's a Juniper, it's a Juniper. He has to discard his hand, but he shouldn't really have to be afraid of that kind of stuff because he needs to set up decks like this, just like the Terrakion deck. It's the same thing. It needs to get that energy set up on the field. So he's just got to keep it up. Now, you have Bret dual ball. He did get one heads, and he himself will get a Smeargle. Doesn't look like he can really get any knockouts this turn. I think the best he can do is start attacking with the Virizion. So he'll attach for the turn, it looks like, and Force Breath on the Celebi. He uses Retreat for the turn, so... Oh. And it looks like he had to do Juniper. And we got, it was a Celebi, a Junk Arm, and a Grass. Excuse me. And we'll just see what he can get from here. If he can keep the momentum going this turn. And doesn't look like it. Looks like the Juniper didn't get him anything he needed. I think the safer thing, he could have done his double draw attack. I think that would have also been better. Not knowing if what was coming, but I didn't really see his hand, so I can't really make that much of a judgment on that. And Devon will now do his Portrait, and ooh, you can see he does not have a good hand at all. There's no supporters, just Junk Arms, energy retrieval, just nothing really good. So, and he's deciding to outrage. I'm not really sure why he didn't play the Juniper. I think he should have played that. It doesn't look like he has many cards in hand because really you do want to be going through your deck as much as possible with this because if you lose any energies on board because you didn't have an EXP share, then that just adds up to not being able to attack. You're going to be slowed down, and eventually you'll just end up losing. that way. Now it looks like Bret did get top decked Oak's New Theory, so he'll get a fresh new hand of 6. And Bret does know that Devon still has that Juniper in his hand, so he'll be able to portrait for that, get a fresh new hand of 7 after that. So Bret's going to really be getting some momentum going on in these next few turns, it seems. Would like to see Bret get some more attackers on the field as well. Now, something you didn't see in this matchup, or something you didn't see in our last matchup, was Tornadus EX, because he technically wasn't really allowed to play because of its lightning ×2 weakness. So this game will definitely be seeing some more of that going on. And he's going to decide to retreat, and could we be seeing a Leaf Wallop this turn? Yep, we see a Leaf Wallop. But you notice he didn't play the, he didn't do Portrait for Juniper, which I'm not sure why. Maybe his hand was actually better than, actually good enough to knock Juniper away. Alright, we'll get a catcher out of Devon. He's gonna catcher up, let's see, catch up to Selby, and now he'll play that Juniper. Like I said, I'm not really sure why he didn't do that last turn. That would have been beneficial. And he's even attaching a double colorless to one of his bench Kyurem, which I'm not sure why that is. Actually, it's not really even. Oh, never mind. I forgot. He did have 40 on it. And Devon's just going to take the quick outrage knockout, and there's that Tornadus EX. Aside from its horrific weakness of lightning, it's actually pretty strong and can do a lot. Can hit hard. Skyward Bridge gives a free retreat, and I think it's overall just strong. Like I said, except for that weakness, which can discourage people from putting it down. I know I would be if I was playing that deck. And what happened? Did he portraited for an Oaks, I think, if I'm not mistaken. Then he'll go ahead and get a new hand of 6, and then he'll still have a supporter for the turn. I think what he's looking for this turn is a Celebi, a Switch, a Skyward Bridge. He's looking for a few things, so him having his Celebi knocked out last turn definitely put him in a bit of a spot, but he was still able to make up for it with the Smear Goal. Again, I couldn't really tell what his hand looked like last turn, or before he did the Oak's New Theory. Let's see, he got, I do see a Grass Energy, I see a Plus Power, Skyward Bridge, and he's just going to go ahead and bring up the Virizion. I guess he'll be Leaf Walloping this turn, and actually, I don't think that he only did 40 last turn, but he captured, so that shouldn't actually be a knockout, because if you notice the last turn, the Selby was captured up and knocked out, so any and all effects from the Leaf Wallop end up going away since it went to the bench. So that shouldn't actually be a knockout, but it's a story for another day. I'm not sure if they realize this later on. We'll just carry on. Now looking at this, they're even up on prizes, and Devon's still missing some energy. I haven't seen a single EXP share also. We're missing that from him as well. And he's going to have to start getting those out. He drops a Plus Power. So to see what's he going to do here. He's attaching to the other Kyurem. So he's really like just spreading out his energies. Not sure if that's the best move. Alright, then he'll got the Shaman and 2 waters, which isn't bad. Because normally with Shaman in a deck, you usually only run one of when it comes to Shamans. And he really wants that Shaman for him to move energies around. He wants those waters in there to have energy in his deck. So that Super Rod was a good play on his part. Now, I don't think we got a portrait or a supporter play this turn, so we'll have to see what happens. See, go goes an Oak's new theory. Now that the Skyhour Bridge is out, the Smear Goal that he has will have free retreat as well, so he won't have to worry about having to find a switch or anything like that, or wasting an energy attachment on the Smear Goal for any reason. But in the end, Devon is still going to need to find some more attackers and those EXP shares, because his board really isn't that really overwhelming right now. And his Smeargle is actually in danger of being knocked out in the next turn if he's not careful. Portraits and Bret doesn't have anything, so looks like Devon will just have to outrage for 30 this turn. In the end, Kyurem can actually be a very underwhelming Pokemon currently. I mean, 30 widespread is actually really nice, but it doesn't really turn into much because a lot of people do play Eviolite, and it does buffer a lot of that away. Alright, now we have a Kyurem EX. Now Kyurem EX, like I said, he does run, I believe, 2 or 3 of them. And I think, as far as an EX goes, I don't think it's strong, but actually in this deck it's actually pretty good. Because its attack 60 damage, Frozen Wings. You do 60 and then you discard a special energy attached to the defending Pokemon, which can be good against going up against Mewtwo's and stuff like that. Now he Super Scoop Ups and brings up Kyurem, which I don't know if I agree with that. I would have liked to have seen him bring up the Smeargle to use Portrait. And he drops another plus power, and he's focusing a lot of his attention on that other Kyurem he has on the bench. Which, I mean, that's not bad, just when you're outraging for only like 20 to 30 a turn, it's really not like the best damage you can do. You're really just like throwing damage on the field. You're not really overwhelming them in any way. And for this deck, it's actually lucky to have an EX like Kyurem, just so we can actually add some more damage on the field in areas that the regular Kyurem can't. All we're really going to see is just an outrage for 30. Oh, actually, hold up. Nope. We're going to get a Celebration win. He did draw into the Shaman, and we do get to see that EXP share. So, Devon's field is starting to come together just a little bit. And we'll just see a Glaciate. It'll be 40 to the active, but then 30 because of the plus power, and then 30 to everything else. So Devon's going to start going on the offensive at this point. Start to put a little bit of pressure on. Now I think what Bret should have done last turn, or when he did his attack, was to, I'm trying to remember, I think he actually should have taken that one Smeargle knockout he had earlier, for just in case. But well, to each their own. Anyway, we're going to be running out of time on this part, so we will see you later for part 2, and thank you for watching, and please subscribe. Thank you.